And, well, my sweet partner is here. Good morning to you.
Oh, I'm your sweet partner.
Yeah, you're sweet.
Roland says that once in a while, once in a
and
very
today
long
we're
while.
talking about issues that are close to
Yeah,
everybody.
Yes, yes, we're talking about the rain. Yesterday, some of you sent me messages, and I had to hold on to that because I knew we are going to table it for this, like a conversation, a full conversation today on the show. So, for instance, somebody sent this. It's a bit long. It's obviously against the tenets of every. Okay, maybe I should just still hold it and then we'll come back to it. But we're discussing the issue about rents, and we have. Normally, when you're looking for a place to rent, you rely on agents, right, Roland? Yep. We've got some agents joining us on the show this morning. And so we're going to be mentioning some of the areas and how much it costs to
average.
Yeah, exactly.
Averagely.
But we know that there's an old law, there's an existing law, really, which is not being enforced. But that law is also being reviewed now. So we're going to box all that together and see if we can look ahead. But ultimately, Habitat Fair is coming up, is around the corner somewhere. So we'll tell you how you can own a home as well. Not today, but that's leading to a conversation to come in the future here on our show. So that's one of the many other things that we'll be doing. Let's just do the newspapers so you can be up to speed with what the various newspapers and the news portals are talking about today. But Roland, one of the other things that we're discussing today is stress.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you feel stressed? Because I kind of feel it like
yes,
like every day. Who is not stressed in this country? It's like
was it just yesterday we were talking about how hard it is to live in that part of the world, and that we should be giving more credits and accolades than
I knew you were going to say accolades.
than is due at. I think sometimes they have to organize awards once in a while in various communities and look at.
And award the most stressed or something.
Yeah.
Charlie.
Because sometimes you can just be saturated.
Yeah.
You feel like not doing anything for a whole week, which is impossible to do.
And sometimes when you feel you've rested even for a week, you start working the following day and you feel stressed already.
Yeah, within 24 hours you're back.
They say it's all in the mind. So we're working on the minds today. It's interesting what we have for you by way of conversation. It's the things that affect us the most that we're discussing today here on the show. So get ready to join us from all angles. And there's a young man at the center of something really big, at the center of volunteerism. And he's trying to rekindle the spirit of volunteerism. They've got an award ceremony coming up. We'll share his story, including what his organization is doing this morning. But let's do the newspapers, Roland, shall we?
Yeah.
Let's start off with the Daily Graphic newspaper. Front page of the Graphic this Friday, President nominates Jane Cynthia Lamte as Deputy Special Prosecutor. One of our biggest news stories yesterday here in Ghana. And then Parliament sat yesterday, recalled from recess, sat yesterday, Thursday, they're sitting today. The headline with this says, Parliament ratifies African Free Trade Agreements. Okay, President Akufo-Addo leaves for the U.S., work to commence on concrete road projects in Tema, and then pay 100,000 Ghana cedis to 2 sacked pregnant women, court orders Ghana National Fire Service. Let's start from there. That story is on page 3. It says the Human Rights Division of the Accra High Court has ordered the Ghana National Fire Service to pay 50,000 Ghana cedis each as compensation to 2 fire service women who were dismissed for getting pregnant within the first 3 years of their employment. In a landmark judgment, the court declared as unlawful Regulation 33(6) of the Conditions of Service of the Ghana National Fire Service that debars servicewomen from getting pregnant within the first 3 years of their employment. Like, are we living and going forward, or we're going backwards, or we're stuck? Really, you had this in your regulations. So that Regulation 33(6) of the Conditions of Service of the Ghana National Fire Service is discriminatory in effect, unjustifiable, illegitimate, and illegal. That's not from me, it's from the courts, and it's a quote. That court was presided over by Justice Anthony Yeboah, Justice of the Court of Appeal, sitting as a High Court judge. So apart from the compensation, the court also ordered the Fire Service to reinstate Miss Grace Fosu and Miss Thelma Hammond, the two women, and also pay them all their salaries and benefits that had accrued during the period of their dismissal. It further awarded costs of 10,000 Ghana cedis against the Ghana National Fire Service. And we've got to hail Justice Anthony Yeboah for this landmark decision. Never should anybody put in their books, really, that if you get pregnant within the first 3 years, you should be sacked or you don't deserve to get a job. Like pregnancy is some disease, pregnancy is some an abomination or something of a sort. I didn't think, until the decision came out, I didn't think anybody will have that in their regulations.
Yeah, I didn't think so at all. And it also brought to the fore the extent with which we've kept laws or have regulations or laws in our country for which we need to take more look at. Or perhaps also know that we need to give people, especially women and those who fall within that vulnerable group, the ability to be able to express themselves and also enjoy the things of life. I
disagree with the word you just used, vulnerable group. We're not vulnerable. Pregnancy is a part of a person's life.
I know, right?
You know, it's just like menstruation or any of the other things that you go through as a woman or as,
Yeah, true.
Somebody got pregnant, that's why you're sitting here. It's part of life.
I agree.
So the fact that you get pregnant doesn't mean you're vulnerable or you can't work.
Yeah.
Some people
can be
pregnant.
Vulnerable.
Thank you. Some people can be pregnant and work full time. Pregnancy shouldn't draw anybody back.
Definitely.
You know what I mean?
Definitely.
You're going through it. You're going to be working. You go on your maternity leave, and then you come back and you start working.
And yesterday when I was scanning through the news media and this was being broadcast, I tried to put myself into the shoes of these young women and say, so supposing, let's say I just left school, I'm a young woman, I'd been recruited into these services and I was married, or even I'm married, I got pregnant. Does it mean I should lose my job?
You may not even be married.
Yeah, no, I'm saying whether I'm married or I'm married, and I get pregnant. Yeah. Should I lose my job because of that? It really didn't.
How are you going to survive?
And this is a serious human rights issue.
It is.
It is a serious human rights issue. And even the way we take care of children, or even take care of the babies that the women who work for the various entities have. If somebody is working with you and has a child, I think that the employer should have some kind of structures that enable that employee to contribute her quota or his quota and also look after the child very well. After all, when you have a very healthy and happy employee, then it makes the contribution to the workforce also important.
Absolutely. You have a happy home.
Yeah.
Your workers will come to work smiling every day.
True.
And contributing.
Because many of the times, women just because they got pregnant and have children would have to close early, and sometimes the bosses in the office would discriminate consistently. And I've seen that in my working life, and which is so unfair.
Yeah. And they tend to think of you as you're not contributing much.
Yeah, true.
You come to work and you close early.
No, which is so unfair.
Exactly. I agree with you. And I hope that this decision will bring out people who are being discriminated against in this manner in other organizations. Let's sue them. Let's sue them so that they will learn the lessons. And instead of Ghana National Park, what would be nice if you even have like a nursery, somewhere in either within the compound or a place close by, so that
you have a place
so that the women who give birth can even bring their children and keep them in that nursery or wherever it is.
And you have a caretaker, somebody who takes care of the children.
And they can go and breastfeed, when the need arises.
It could even make them even work longer in hours. Because if I know that I don't have to close at 2, I have to close at 5. For the next 3 hours, that's in excess, I would have used as travel time. You could look after the children.
But National Fire Service is in the spotlight because of this. But I believe there are many organizations in Ghana. There are other organizations, they don't have it in black and white as in their regulations. But before they employ you, they take you through all manner of tests. They may not tell you why they are not hiring you, but it's because they figured out that you are either pregnant, or they look at you and they do the calculation for you. Our society, sometimes we think it's women who put pressure on women, but other people also put pressure on women. They look at you, oh, you are this age, you recently got married, the possibility that you get get pregnant within this time is very high, so let's not hire you. You know,
yeah,
there are organizations that do that. We
they even look at the age,
because
be proud to. You're not even married. They look at the age and they say, oh, from 24 there, you know. So
shame on any HR, any recruiter who does that, because it's not in plain black and white. You think that you're getting away with it, but I don't know. I believe that if you make somebody suffer unnecessarily, it will come back and haunt you. Back page of the Daily Graphic newspaper.
This like the word,
newspaper. Back page of the Daily Graphic newspaper now.
Like
Kumasi traders call for expedition of work on market projects, and then work to commence on concrete road projects in Tema. That's another story on the back page of the Daily Graphic newspaper. There's a center spread. Journalists, in quotes, lack of integrity, threat to media independence. And it says the acting vice chancellor of the Catholic University College, Dr. Anthony Bonakumson, has identified the lack of personal and professional integrity on the part of journalists as the greatest threat to the independence of the mass media in Ghana. He noted that while there were a number of impediments on the way of journalists, members of the profession who did not have integrity would always succumb to threats, favors, and intimidation, a situation that often undermine their independence. Okay, well said right there. It's good that we talk about ethics, but the same people who make this call, I would have wished that they would also condemn it when a whole police beat up a journalist, and we don't push it down there and say another thing. When you are speaking, speak to these issues that also confront the journalists every day in Ghana. That's it for the Daily Graphic newspaper.
Okay, so I have the Ghanaian Times on the front page of the Ghanaian Times. World Press Freedom Index. Ghana best in Africa, places 23rd in the world. The story is on page 16. It says Ghana has been ranked as the African country with the best atmosphere for media personnel in 2018 in the 2018 World Press Freedom Index. The country moved 3 places up from 26 last year. As against what had been existing from last year and beyond.
But you see, but for what the police people did to Latif Idris, you'll see that next year the ranking won't be the same. I mean, it's just one of these pockets of events like that that bring us down. You see that everybody will be focusing on us for that act. Police, let somebody else beat me and let me run to you so that you cover me, you protect me. But if I run to you and you are beating me, and shame on all of the people who are kind of justifying this and saying that it depends if they are in combat mode. What? A policeman in combat mode, are you saying that they are not thinking or they are not seeing? Are you serious?
It surprises me.
Yeah, are they at war?
And to think that since the incident happened, the police administration has not taken any concrete step, any decision that will give any confidence to any media personnel or even the media houses to that personnel or identify that person who did that. Because it's easy. You know the number of people, the names of the people, the faces of the people you deploy to that area within that period. Now, when you zone down to the bulk of the people, you get to the one who is leading them. Who did you deploy to this area, to this area?
They know.
And you zone in and you find out who did this. And
so it's
as if the police service doesn't want to give up on its own. But the thing is, it's supposed to be a police public or a police civil relationship.
Yeah.
And who is the best ombudsman or the one in the middle? It's us. And when we go and we're in the line of fire, I think that's so sad.
Yeah.
That's so sad. Let me just do a couple of them and then. Japan rejects 100 tons of cocoa. Galamsey blamed. On page 4, we have the story there. President to launch Nation Builders Corps on May 1. President Akufo-Addo leaves for the United States of America. Now let's go to the back page. It says Australia High Commission funds livelihood project with $1 million Australian dollars. And we have more than 4,000 farmers in Dafiama, Buzie, Isa district to be enrolled onto the Planting for Food and Jobs program. We already know there's an outstanding issue of farmers who have taken some credit or some loans or have been assisted financially but have still not been able to pay back under the program Planting for Food and Jobs. I don't know what's going to be done to them though. Marvi?
Let's do the Finder newspaper. Front page of the Finder says concrete roads take off. Dr. Baumia cut sold for 5.4-kilometer road in Tema industrial area. Goyle pays 1.1 billion Ghana cedis to government. High Court registrar slapped with injunction. And then First Lady calls for renewed commitment to beat malaria. Engineers dissatisfied with the state of roads. According to Kwabene Japan, that story is on page 10 in the paper. But let's go to page 5 in the Finder newspaper. The Commercial Division of an Accra High Court has slapped or placed an injunction on a court registrar from taking any steps to deliver or transfer the title of a land belonging to one Stephen Dilabi in Ghana Oil Company Limited. The court prohibited Stephen Afote, the registrar of the Commercial Division of an Accra High Court, from taking any step, whether by himself, his assigns, agent, or anyone acting on the instruction or authority of the registrar to deliver or transfer the title of the land to Goyle until the case which is in court is decided. Background to that in the paper this morning. A bit about concrete roads take off, and then the picture that comes with it, Dr. Baumia seen driving a truck or something of a sort, one of the vehicles for construction works, but it says that Vice President Dr. Mahamadou Baumia has cut the sword for the commencement of the construction of concrete roads in the Tema Heavy Industrial Area Enclave. The project comes 58 years after the nation's first major concrete road was built by Dr. Kwame Nkrumah to link the harbour city of Tema and Accra in the 1960s. And the construction of the 5.4-kilometer road project through the Tema Steelworks and the Driver Vehicle and Licensing Authority is expected to usher in a new dawn of the construction of concrete roads in the country. Right. It's the end that we're looking at.
All right, but let's also put this one. I think 5.4 is a small one.
Yeah.
The motorway in itself, from the beginning to end to end, for one lane or for one side, it's 18 kilometers. So we're looking at 36 kilometers of concrete road constructed for the motorway.
Yeah.
So
they say this is a pilot project. Yeah, actually. So
it's expensive to build concrete road. Yeah. I have to say, it's expensive.
So this one will connect the Tema port through the Tema oil refinery road.
So who
to
is
the
funding
N1.
the government? I guess.
Well, you have to read. You have to read further to figure out where we're getting this money from in the paper. All right. Okay, so that's it for the Finder newspaper, really. There are many other stories of interest in the paper. Roland?
All right, so let's look at the Daily Guide newspaper. We have Amidu gets deputy, and we have a picture there of the deputy.
Jane Cynthia Lamte.
Yeah, the special prosecutor, Martin Amidu. I thought we should have gotten the deputy's picture rather. We have Bugri Nabu escapes death. He had an accident, I think overnight, yesterday. Vice President cuts short for concrete road, C4C Hospital Partners Dutch Institute, and U.S. military deal is good, according to the CDA. That's the Chief of Defense Staff. Let's go to the center spread. Center spread says government recognizes makeup and beauty industry. Catherine Apaku. We have Karima Agwe supports Sam Ajetefio. And family of DJ Abrantier raises funds to cure stroke. You know DJ Abrantier, don't you?
Yeah, I heard about him in the UK.
Yeah. I've listened to some of his videos on YouTube. That's basically what I know about him. Stakeholders to strengthen alcohol advertising standards. And we have Kim Kardashian defends Kanye West over mental health claims. And you know, Kanye West had been tweeting or talking about Donald Trump. So when I think he started getting some attack, he said, well, because he they should take it that because he had mental problems or something, and his wife has come in his support that they should stop criticizing.
You know, he was wearing the is it Make America Great Again or something? But he was seen wearing a cap that was trumpeting one of Donald Trump's slogans. Yeah, but he's always been a Trump supporter, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
he's always been like speaking in that.
And Trump actually responded, gave him a response on Twitter saying thank you or something of the sort. Yeah.
All right, so that'll be it for the newspapers. We have a couple.
Yeah, there's let's do the last one, the Daily Dispatch newspaper. And I'm going to skip everything else and talk about this. Use of vagina tightening creams can cause infertility, according to a doctor. Now, the reason this is probably sounds familiar is because there's a one Moisha Budon who, in the conversation with Christiana Mampo, that's been, you know, in some sense been controversial, but it's also been talked about largely. One of the things that she said was that she is an ambassador for a cosmetic brand or something of the sort. And one of the things that that brand does is produce creams for tightening the vagina, and which she also uses. And she talked about the usefulness of that cream. But this morning, if you grab the Daily Dispatch newspaper, a doctor says that if you use vagina tightening creams, it could cause infertility. There are people who would hear this, who would even read it and say they don't care because of the benefits today. But there are other people, the reason the paper is publishing it, I think, is so you would know the consequences of it if you use it. So they say, a word to the wise.
It's enough.
It's in your ball. Or in your courts, if you like.
Yeah, in your courts.
Okay.
The ball definitely is in your court. You are you, and you take the best decision for you.
Yeah.
So.
Hey, the things that women do to make men happy, eh?
Oh.
This whole tightening.
But you know the things that men do to also make women
really?
happy. Yeah.
What do you tighten in your system to make a woman happy? Nothing. Nothing, Roland. Nothing. Let's read some of your messages and then we'll go online and we're going to myjoyline.com. Brian in Cape Coast, Roland, Brian is liking your look this morning.
Thank you, thank you.
He says, you look good this morning. Greetings to the Blue Army, and it's coming from Brian. Brian
Yay!
is
Chelsea
Cape
won.
Coast. That's what the Blue Army represents. This one says, World Press Freedom Day is at the corner. Safety of media personnel in the line of duty should be guaranteed. Hashtag Justice for Lateef Idris. It's from Hallo Richard in Akachi. Absolutely agree with you. This one says, I'm grateful Galamsey issue has been raised this morning. There's a serious illegal mining at Awenari, a town close to Kwabing in the 81 Western Eastern region. And I hope that I pronounced that right. These activities of the Galamseyers have destroyed the water bodies in the town, which is their main source for domestic purposes, causing all the fish to be hunted and consumed since the stream is now muddy. Not forgetting the cocoa farms being destroyed for their selfish interests. The fight is on, the challenges very much still staring us in the face. This one from Sule in Sunyai, Kotokrom. Dankanamon is being used, you think, by a certain political party. I'm not going to re-echo what you've sent, but you're absolutely entitled to your views. Prince from Otsinibi says, good morning, Roland. We all need each other. Thanks for the motivational message. And I felt really motivated listening to the message as well. So thank you for the motivation. Yeah.
That's great.
This one says, please help us come out from our death warrant, please. What I mean is that I'm a teacher. Okay, I think this is a message that I've read before, and I said we're going to follow up. Would give it to our correspondent in the Volta region. This one says, good morning. Have a look at this video. I'm Innocent from Sunyai. Innocent, I'll look at the video definitely later. I can't do that now, but thank you for sending it through. This one says, I get frequent breakage and transmission of your station on DSTV channel 421. Kindly help me out. All right, we will let our technical people check this out. This one says, my question is, did the woman get pregnant alone? And this is coming on the back of that judgment that's been delivered. Stories in the Daily Graphic newspaper. Ghana National Fire Service, 2 women who were fired, really let go because they got pregnant. So the question from Sampo in Hamburg says, did they get pregnant alone? If so, then they should go and look for the man too, where he's working, and fire them. Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you, Sampo. This one says, has the Abuakwa North case been settled? Alovi, which Abuakwa North case exactly are you asking? This one says, Mama V, if pregnancy is now a crime, then I think they are rather legalizing illegal abortions. If yes, are the aborted children not Ghanaians? These acts of their condition of work is archaic, primitive, and barbaric. Greetings to Roland. Matthew from Jasikai. And I like the words that you used this morning. Barbaric, primitive, yeah, and archaic. Definitely. We'll come back and read more of your messages.
Yeah, you know, we have something on the RTI. It's been withdrawn to...
It's going through normal process.
Yeah,
it's not an emergency. It's not going to be rushed through. Yeah. You know, sometimes
we have an insert on it, TV.
Yeah? Okay. Sometimes it's surprising. You know, it's surprising how, like, ratification of some trade agreement is an emergency to the extent that 3 weeks, Parliament will be back normal. But they have to be recalled.
Is that same
for an
attitude?
Emergency sitting.
Just like
we've got a right to information bill.
Just like the election of the MMDCs.
Yeah. Well. Oh, Charlie.
I know where you're coming from.
You know, just like Latif's beating and the police investigators, you know, they haven't still seen the people. Like we don't know where they are in their investigation. We know that they're looking into the matter, and I keep saying that we appreciate that they followed up with their men. You know, to ask questions. Latif has spoken to the police. Yeah, but where are we? Where are we? Where are we? And my worry is, this one, it happened at the police headquarters. So this happened, people at the CID headquarters. Imagine if this had happened in like a marketplace or in any other place. As for that one, I'm not sure we'll probably even look into it. This one, and they've got cameras. So cameras, most likely, if they are functioning cameras, because we know that they've got cameras there, captured the men who did this. And I have a feeling that they know, Roland. I just have a feeling that they know.
There's no point why they will not know.
If they want to get to the bottom of this,
they will.
If
they definitely know.
Yeah.
You know the number of men,
we want to
those
give
who were
you
deployed at the point,
benefit of the doubt. We know that you want to get to the bottom of this. All we're asking is for you to brief us. Where are you in the investigation, so that we know that justice will definitely come to Latif Idris. That's what we're asking for. Give us some updates. Let us know where you've gotten to with these investigations. Ghana Police Service, thank you for the good work, but please let us know where you are with the investigations.
Well, so let's go to myjoyonline.com. So we have a couple of stories, Mama V.
MP wants longer jail term for perpetrators of defilements. That's the MP, Member of Parliament for Saboba. He spoke to us right here on JoyNews from Cape Coast with Maxwell Agbagba when the committee that he sits on, visited some places. And I think he spoke really strongly. But I hope that it doesn't end there, really, because we hear people speak strongly.
Usually that's what happens. Yeah. We don't walk the talk, as we say.
Yeah. But it's a good thing that he's speaking strongly as well. All right, let's move on. So that story is on MyJoyOnline.com. And Goil increases profits by 21%, pays 1.12 billion Ghana cedis tax in 2017. They are being accountable, and it's good that they're making profits. FDA cautions against the use of unregistered medical devices. Alcohol manufacturers, others pledge commitment, strength, marketing, advertising standards. Who are the local partners in Morocco ECG takeover agreements? Bill Cosby found guilty of sexual harassment in retrial. U.S. comedian Bill Cosby has been found guilty of 3 counts of sexual assault, each of which carries a potential 10 years in prison. So man is about what, like 80? And oh, Charlie. Concrete roads construction take off as VIP cuts sought. Men Don't Die. Ajete Annan returns to the stage in play for social change. And of course, our campaign to get justice for Lateef Idrisu heightens as his health deteriorates. And we're not going to just sit down and watch this. We're going to be talking about this every day until the police give us the justice that we deserve. We're not begging the police to do their work. We're just asking you to do your work. That's what you're meant to do. So finish it. You started something. We want to see, go through it, and let's bring justice to Lateef Idrisu. It could happen to me. It could happen to Roland. It could happen to Joel, who's looking at us this morning. Indeed, he got a bit of the beating because he was a cameraman who was there with Lateef Idrisu. We thank God that, you know, he's all well and now, but Lateef is not well. Lateef is not well at all. We're asking for justice from the Ghana Police Service, the IGP, all the people in the line, please. We're asking for justice for our colleague Lateef Idrisu, who was beaten by about 10 police officers per the account that he gave. Lateef Idrisu was beaten at the police headquarters, at the CID headquarters, and I think that it's a big indictment on the entire police force. The least they can do is to get to the bottom of this and let us see the men who did this. Let the justice system deal with them. Police, you're not above the law. You're enforcers of the law. You're supposed to protect us, even when you have what happened. I mean, what happened? It wasn't like a war front. Oh, it wasn't a war front. Remember, the issue that brought us to this end was Koku Anyidoho's arrest and interrogation at the CID headquarters. Sympathizers had gathered, and Lateef Idrisu, just like other journalists, were there to do their work. Granted, he asked a silly question, but who are you, police officer, to lay your hands on a citizen of Ghana when you are supposed to be the one protecting us? This shouldn't happen. We're in 2018.
Not at all.
And it's been 4 weeks. Ghana police, you haven't told us anything. Please, we're asking for justice for Lateef, and we will remind you until you come out and you show us your men who did this. Let's get them to the court, let's get them prosecuted, and let's see where it ends. Until then, we ask all of you to say a prayer for Lateef Idrisu, because where he sits now is not a good place. Let's keep him in our prayers. We're asking for justice for him, Roland.
Right, so
there's this other story, unbelievable. A mother who beats his 8-year-old daughter to death and then hides body. Can you imagine? Almost like buried the body.
Yeah, bury the body. Because she knew that what she did was a criminal act. And she would have paid for it dearly if she had seen. But now, well, it's already been discovered. Let's go to the other news portals if we can. Just quickly run through City Newsroom. We have Duncan Amo's attempt to escape. Duncan Amo's attempt to escape Boss MD's defamation suit fails. We also have reinstates pay sacked pregnant fire officers, 100,000 in damages, 10,000 for the fees, and then they should be paid arrears of their salary. That's what the court action says. And then when you listen to the boss of Shraj, he said all the other allied agencies, especially the security and all the public institutions, and I think this will even extend to the private institutions also.
Track it down, right?
Whoever, they need to make sure that they put their house in order before Shraj comes after them. Forestry.
No, they should keep it there. Let people sue them. Yeah?
Yeah, you know.
Keep it there. Keep it there. Lawyers should begin to make a lot more money.
You know,
yeah.
Forestry officials extorting monies from others, wood dealers, alleged. And you have a picture there of Kojo Uswefri, who is the chief executive for the Forestry Commission. We have Nanado nominate Cynthia Lamte as Amidu's deputy.
Yeah.
And new rent bill to make tenants pay 1 year advance.
This one I don't even want to hear. The old one that you have, what have you been able to do? I don't even want to hear the. We'll get to that conversation when the agents join us.
Because it's not as if we don't have the regulations. Yeah. We do have all regulations we can find. Whether it's got to do with graft or corruption, or it's got to do with how things need to work in the lives of the ordinary Ghanaian. they are just not being implemented.
And then you're telling me about a new law.
They just don't
really,
work.
really.
Even at the hospital, we have a patient charter that was supposed. It just doesn't work.
But you know, so I asked for yesterday's Business Finder newspaper. We're going to use it very much because the Business Finder, what it did for us yesterday, is to give us costs. So they mentioned places in Accra, in Takoradi, in Kumasi, and I think other cities as well, and how much is involved. You have to rent a 1-bedroom or a 2-bedroom apartment or a house. So we will get to that. Keep sending those messages in terms of the rents. But you know, on this issue about the Ghana National Fire Service and the women who have been reinstated effectively and compensated. This one says, I honestly thought my country, Sierra Leone, is worse until I heard Ghana National Fire Service relieving women of their duties for getting pregnant. Are you kidding me? It's a shame. I say thanks to the judge for dispensing justice. And it's from MSF Nabe in Sierra Leone. But on the back of that, our colleague Rafiq Salam, you remember I mentioned that they should even have like a nursery or place to keep, you know, children so that they can be closer to their mothers. Rafiq shares a successful, or maybe a model, a hospital that is modeling this, St. Joseph's Hospital at Jirapa. He says it's a perfect example. They have a place for lactating mothers. By doing that, the mothers have time to work at the hospital and also prevent the babies from being infected with diseases. And then kudos to Dr. Richard and the team. So St. Joseph's Hospital at Jirapa, setting a good example. Yeah, that's the advocacy now.
Yes, and you could see that sporadically where we have some of these incidents or these developments going on. It means that it's got to do with the tenacity of the individual managers or the employers who have taken the initiative to make sure that people have a very relaxing atmosphere. Yeah. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. This one says, my name is Azogba, A.K. Divine, the National President of Social Workers Association of Ghana. I keenly follow your discussions on the 2 social workers arrested for selling baby in Kumasi. The public prosecution and judgment of the case in the media due to the unprofessional manner police is handling the case has brought about low morale and agitation among social workers. Okay, you give us a lot more details. We're going to get in contact with you. You're the National President of the Social Workers Association of Ghana. We need you for a conversation so we can understand your system a lot better. We'll come back and share a lot more of your messages. We have to bring you sports. Benedict has got an update on the Georgia Free. Georgia Free won't go away. He will not go away. So we have an update on
Georgia Free as well as Arsenal.
The Vice President, Charlie, as for Arsenal, yay! The people who support Arsenal, I don't know. I think they have a special place.
Yeah, they have lots of patience.
They have a special place in heaven. Hey, Charlie.
Lots of patience. Because I think 10 minutes into the match, Atletico Madrid had a red card. Just taking the advantage of the player. Arsene Wenger.
Manager was sent away.
Yeah, and the player was sent away. They were 10.
They
were a man down, 10 men on the field.
I need an Arsenal boyfriend right now.
I knew Sabote.
Like he can be there forever.
I knew Sabote.
It doesn't matter what I do. He will be there for me.
I knew Sabote loves Arsenal like anything.
Oh God! So they're going to go away. What can they do?
Yeah.
Just when we're hoping that we can secure US spots in the Champions League. See where we are. Oh, say us now. We'll bring you a playback of some of the games that you missed as well. Benedict is here with a lot more in sports. Stay with us.
We'll be right back.